All right. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight and listening to my story. As I was saying, I very nervous to talk about this subject. I'm very passionate about it, but I'm also very nervous because I am a positive person. I like to think very positively. I come onto my social media as a positive person. So for me to talk about things that I struggle with in my life and in my business can be very difficult for me to do. So just want to say thank you for letting me come and speak to you guys tonight and for all of you to be here. And I hope that you can take away something that I say tonight and it inspires you to keep going, even though you're going through a lot, whether it's with your business or with your life. So, those of you who know me, I'm Amber, obviously, but if you don't know me, my name is Amber. I live in Florida. I have been living here for about 5 years now. I'm originally from Wisconsin. I grew up there and I have a 3-year-old little boy, and I also have a 5-month-old girl. And I am engaged as well. We've been together for about 7 years. Now, before Plexus, I was a bartender for um, well, I was there for about 5 years before I left, but I was a bartender and I was a postpartum mom when I had gotten started on these products and with the business. I was about 6 months postpartum and I was dealing with a lot in my life. I had extreme postpartum depression and anxiety, and I obviously was a bartender. So my son was going to a babysitter, and he was there until about midnight when I would work, and I would have to go and pick him up at midnight, wake him up out of his sleep, and bring him home. And obviously, that just wasn't an ideal situation for me. And I wanted more, but I just couldn't see myself having more because I never even dreamed about having more. It felt hard because I thought I was just going to be stuck that way forever, a bartender and bringing my babies to a babysitter. I couldn't picture like what my dream house was going to look like. I couldn't picture what my dream car was going to look like. And I thought I was just going to have what I had. Like that was it. And when I got started with this business, that was like the one thing that I'm very thankful for is my vision that I've been able to acquire from this. So with that being said, I just want to move on to some of the struggles that I've dealt with over the last 2.5 years of this doing this business. The first thing that I struggled with, and I'm always going to struggle with this, and I'm sure all of you probably can relate as well, is that, well, not all of you can relate with this, but I have an unsupportive partner when it comes to this business. My partner or my fiance thinks that it's taking away from my family versus, adding to it. And it's hard for me to cast that vision with him. And, he's slowly getting there over the 2.5 years. But in the beginning of my business, it was really, really difficult to deal with because I love my family and my family is everything for me. I also dealt with a lot of outside negativity. My family, my friends, they were always in my ear telling me that, um, I shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do this, Amber. Like what you're doing is not going to work. It's not going to work. And I had to keep blocking that out because I knew it was going to work. I mean, I deep down inside knew that if I put my effort in, it would work. I just had to block out that negative content that was coming into my head. But it definitely created a lot of self-doubt. And you guys, like, I will forever probably have people coming in my ear like, no, like that's crazy. No, what you're doing is crazy. We're all going to have that. It's inevitable. People just don't understand what we do until we explain to them, what we do. And sometimes what we do isn't for everybody either. But that's just one thing that I dealt with in the beginning of my business. And then about a year and a half into my business, I had something really tragic happen. Brandon, my fiance, was in a very, very tragic car accident, and we didn't think he was going to be able to walk again. He was in the trauma center for about a month and a half, and he was about 2.5 hours from my home. So I had to drive back and forth from my home to the hospital with my son while still trying to run my business. And at this point in my business, I was a gold. Um, and I had been a gold for about a year already at that point. And it was just very hard. It was very hard because when he came home, I was his main caretaker. I had to feed him, I had to bathe him, I had to do everything for him. So doing that, plus being a mom, plus taking care of my house, plus my business, it was a lot. And it definitely could have stopped me from doing my business. Um, he's fine. He can walk now, if anybody's curious. He's doing okay. But about 6 months after that, I lost a couple key business builders in my business. They just decided it wasn't for them anymore. And my points dropped from almost 250 points being senior gold down to about 50 points in about a month or two time span. And this was just a couple months before our first leaders retreat, or my first leaders retreat of the cruise last November. And that was like probably one of the hardest things that I went through in my business, because that came with a lot of self-doubt. It came with the feeling of like, am I the problem? Am I the one that caused them to stop doing this business? Like, can I be a leader? Like, I just lost 150 points in my business and went completely backwards. Um, and it was rough. It was hard. It was really hard. And that emotional impact and feeling like something was wrong with me was hard. And I had to come to a realization that the business builders dropping off wasn't a reflection of me, um, and that I can only control what I can control. So what I did is I started digging into my mindset. I started digging into my belief, my strengths, and I just stayed consistent with that. The biggest thing that I really focused on was just shifting my mindset from a self blame to a self growth. So I just I put my head down. I stopped comparing myself to everybody else, because I'm like, okay, everybody's just flying past me because I was almost senior gold, went back to senior silver, and everybody's just going, 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 and I went backwards. So I had to put my blinders on and just focus on what I was doing, um, because if I didn't, I was comparing myself. And that is not good. That's not good for you. That's not good for anybody. You need to focus on what you have going on. So that's what I had to do. And then this last year in July, I was going for another big rank of senior Ruby, and we got to the end of the month and I missed it by 13 points, you guys. 13 points. And I was 8 months pregnant, and I made a commitment to myself that I was going to be senior Ruby by the, no, I was 9 months pregnant actually. I had a commitment that I was going to be senior Ruby by the time I had my baby, and my baby was due a week into August. So I was very sad about it. But I had my baby. I worked even though I was having a baby in the hospital. And I had seen a Ruby in August while having a baby because I knew I could do it. I knew I could do it. And I just kept pushing towards it. And then again in this last December, last month, I was going for another big rank of Emerald, and I missed that rank up as well, by, I don't know, 15, 20 orders, something like that. It was so close, and we missed it just by a little bit, but I know that I'm going to get there, and I know my team is gonna get there as well. So I have no doubt about that, but I had a lot of lesson learning over the last 2.5 years. And consistency is the only thing that got me to where I am and got me to get over all of those humps in my life. And you guys, there was so many other struggles that I dealt with personally. My son ended up having some health issues, and I had a baby, and just there's a lot of things that happened in my life that literally could have stopped me from doing this business, and I chose to not let it happen. Um, my team wouldn't be here right now if I stopped. And that's a scary thing for me to think about, because I have a lot of people on this team that need this business just as much as I do. And that's probably the biggest thing that continues to keep pushing me, is to know that, like, there's so many people out there that need this opportunity as much as I did, and they wouldn't be here if I gave up, or if I just decided not to do this one day. Um, Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. I don't want to get lost. I started going off my notes, or getting away from my notes. But the biggest key takeaway from these is that I never gave up. I kept going, and I kept looking for ways to overcome my struggles. So now I want to talk a little bit about my turning point in my business, because I went through all these struggles. I had all of these things happen. But I also, you guys, before my points dropped from almost 250 to back to 50 points, I sat at gold for about a year and a half. Excuse me. I felt stuck. I felt very stuck. A year and a half sitting at gold. I kept seeing everybody else flying past me, like I said. Um, and last November, when we were on the leaders retreat, the cruise, I had a realization that I was playing small. I was what you would call fake working. And I had a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C backed up in my brain in case this didn't work. And you guys, you can't do that. I'm telling you right now, if you have a plan A, B, C, D, whatever, and somebody, I think it was Christina actually, that might have said this on a Monday Night Live last year, that just really clicked in my brain. And you cannot have a backup plan. If you want to run this as a business, if you have a backup plan, you're running this as a hobby, not as a business. So, deciding today, like, is this your backup plan? Like, this is your only backup plan. Your business is your plan A, your plan B, your plan C, whatever plan it is. Like, there is no backup plan. And the day that you decide to make this your only plan is the day that your business will move forward. That that is the number one thing that had changed for me. And it made my mindset shift to, what if this doesn't work, to this is going to work. And I started taking bolder actions. I started being more confident in my business messages. I actually started sending voice clips about the business versus like writing a message and then praying that they were going to get what I was trying to say in the business message. But I started being bold and sending those voice clips. I started sharing the opportunity with every customer, not just some of them. I started sharing the opportunity with every single customer that I had. I started casting a vision for others even before I fully had my own vision. Like I said before, I couldn't dream about what my dream car was going to look like. I couldn't even picture what my dream home was look like. I couldn't even picture what I wanted my life to look like, because I didn't even think it was possible. You guys, like, I literally didn't think that I could have the things that I have now. Even to, like, I don't have my dream home or my dream car yet. I will, but I have a lot more now than I did 2.5 years ago. I'll just say that. But I started casting vision for all of the people that did join me, and I made sure that they knew why they needed this business too. And you guys, when I started doing all of this, I got off that cruise and I did all of this. I grew my business almost 1,000 points in less than a year. And if you go all in and you decide that this is your plan A, B, and C, and D, E, whatever plan, you can do that too. I promise you, you can do it too. And you'll show up so much more confidently in your business when you take this seriously. And this is your only backup plan. This is your only backup plan. So I sorry, scrolling down to my notes again. Um so now that I have, you know, cast a vision for other people, I started showing up more boldly, and I can see where my business is going to go. I now have a clear vision of where I want to go. I now have a clear vision of what my dream car is going to be, what my dream house is going to be, and what my dream life is going to be. I have that clear vision now because I was casting that vision for other people. And I am showing up consistently in my business, and I can see where my business is going to go, because I decided to go all in. Now, um, the learning how to dream big was hard for me. Like I said, I couldn't dream any of that. So I just want to talk about like how I did that. Like, how did I start casting vision with other people before I even had a vision for myself? Um, I I started encouraging other people to dream beyond their current reality. So like, what do they want their dream car to look like? What do they want their dream home to look like? All of those things, or like even the small things, like what do you want? What do you want your day-to-day life to look like you guys, for me, this is kind of embarrassing to say, but my first goal that I had when I started this business was just to be able to buy myself new underwear and new bras, because I didn't have enough money to even buy myself any of those things. That was my first goal here. And that is what I started like casting vision with other people. So, figuring out what is a need in their life. Can they afford their car payment? Can they afford their mortgage? Can they afford to go get their hair done? Can they afford to get their nails done? Can they afford to do anything for themselves besides paying their bills? Or is their bank account going in negative like mine was? Because mine was going in negative every single month, and I was paying more overdraft fees than I was paying in bills. I think like it was bad when I started this business. So I I talk about that with people and like figure out what is that thing for them that is gonna make them want to build a business here, and helping them realize like what this could actually do for them. And the thing when doing this too is you got to start, like I said, you got to start small. You got to start with what excites them too. Like maybe they don't even care about materialistic things. Like maybe they care about helping other people in their health. Maybe they want to see like their grandma. Their grandma has really bad arthritis, and they just want to help their grandma feel better. Like, and help them get excited about helping their grandma or helping their neighbor, like whatever it is that they get excited about. Really hone in on that and help them get extremely excited about it. Um, the next step that I did to make sure that I was able to think bigger and help cast vision for other people is surrounding myself with people who think bigger, because I did not have the greatest friend group when I started this business. So, I think that contributed to me thinking small and not being able to see my life for more than what it was, because the people I hung out with were the exact same way. They didn't think bigger, they didn't want more for themselves. So, as soon as you join this community and join this business, like that was a big a big thing for me, was this community and just being surrounded with people who think bigger. So if you're not tuning into every Monday Night Live, if you're not joining every book study, if you're not um joining in group chats and getting to know everybody and bringing value, I encourage you to do it, because the community that alone will just help your vision so much and just help you think so much bigger, if that's something that you struggle with. And then the other thing that I encourage you to do is write it down daily. that was one thing that I started with, is I started writing down like I started writing down affirmations for myself, and I pinned them on a wall above my desk on sticky notes so I could read them every day when I sat down to work. But I also had my dream board or my vision board available for me to look at all day long. I actually, starting I think last year, I made a vision board, and I keep it on. I'm looking for my phone. I'm talking to my phone right now. I keep it on the wallpaper of my phone. So when I click my phone on, my vision board is there. I can see everything that I want to accomplish this year, and I keep it front of mind, um, because it excites me. It excites me to get my dream car. It excites me to, I think I have like organization on there. It excites me to like dream about being organized and like make it a plan. um all of those things. That's one thing that I definitely recommend. If you struggle with vision, create a vision board for yourself, write it down, have it available for you to look at every single day. You want to continue to remind yourself about those things. So with that being said, I'm just gonna wrap this call up quickly, but I just want to encourage you guys to prioritize your mindset and growth daily. If you're not reading mindset, or if you're not reading things to help your mindset, if you're not listening to podcasts to help with your mindset, if you're not, watching videos, diamond documentaries, please do that. Please, please, please do that. If you struggle with, having a backup plan, if you struggle with fake working and, when you sit down to work, you get caught scrolling, you need to work on your mindset. You need to work on your vision, because you're getting distracted for a reason. You're getting distracted because you're not committed, and there's something in the mindset part there that is doing that. So start listening to podcasts. Brittany's podcast is amazing. I listen to her podcast like 2 to 3 times a week. Every time I'm folding laundry, I'm pulling up Brittany's podcast. That's like my go-to. If you're or reading a book, download an audio, play it when you're in your car. I'll play it when I'm on my way to the grocery store. I'm a stay-at-home mom now. So I didn't even get to tell you, I forgot to tell you guys that I quit my job back in June. I'm now a stay-at-home mom. And I work my business full-time. Totally forgot to mention that. So now I don't go anywhere to listen to in my car besides the grocery store, grocery pickup. So I listen to podcasts, I listen to audiobooks in my car ride instead of listening to music. My son likes listening to him too. So he likes listening to the guy talk. He says, I want to listen to the guy. But yeah, so that is my number one thing for you guys to take away from this call, is just work on your mindset, continue to surround yourself with people who think bigger, and build your vision board. If you don't have one, build one. And I also have a challenge for you guys. And, going after this call, write down 3 big dreams that you have for your life and your business. So whether that's, buying a dream home, or, you want to have a hobby farm, or, where you see your business going. You want to be a diamond, you want to be a 7-star diamond, you want to be a 2-star diamond. Like, what do you see yourself as? Write down your dream for your home, or for your life, and for your business. And then I also challenge you guys to take one bold action today towards your goal. Like maybe sending a voice clip to your dream teamer, telling them that you want them to join you and do this business with them because you see so much potential in them. Put on your big girl and big boy panties and just send that voice clip to them. Take one bold action, whatever that is. That is my challenge for you guys. Because taking that one bold action for me, I sent one really bold voice clip, and from then on, it just spiraled. I was like, you know what? I did one. I can do 1,000 now. So that is my challenge for you guys. And then my final thought for you is, your dream life is possible, but it starts with your belief, and it starts with your commitment to grow. And that is all I have for you guys.